Well, brilliant. Hi there. Thank you very much for coming and joining us on this 24-hour event for embodiment organized by Paul. My name is Mark Appleford. I'm here in Scotland, and believe it or not, it's relatively dry. Um, I'm my background is actually martial arts, Qigong, meditation. I also work as a body therapist, and I'm also a clinical mental health practitioner as well. So I have a foot in both camps, both the complementary and the alternate and the mainstream. I like to kind of reference this as kind of more modern day therapy, as well as ancient traditional wisdom. So today, I'd just like to say thank you to Tim, who is my tech support. He's based in London, and he's been doing a grand job so far organizing it. And knowing him as well as I do, he's going to be very organized and will be trying to stick on time. So the name of my class is Flowing Zen, the art of play. And what this kind of means is that Flowing Zen, when you start looking at the term Zen, it actually translates as meditation. And you start breaking that down, it becomes more about state of being. And we've really kind of come away from this natural state. We've had it as when we're kids, and we've got this ability, we've got this wonderful foundation that we've developed as kids. Most of us have developed as kids of playing, hardwired into our DNA, into our body. We've got conditioned with this. You'll see kids, really playing with each other, being kind and compassionate, sometimes losing their temper, but always being present in the moment. You'll see the kids who will kind of have a tantrum, that normally spikes and then kind of comes down, and then they get back to playing. Now, what's happened in the modern day society is that we've kind of come away from this way of being. But what we need to remember is that it's actually inherent in us. And it's a wonderful foundation for us to kind of really kind of come back to. But what happens is we've got this foundation here, and it gets built upon everyday life. Things that happen to us, we need to get a job, go to work, we have stress around money, the current pandemic we're in, stuff we're getting bombarded from TV. It takes us further and further away from that kind of original state of being. That ability where we had the resources to play, the open-heartedness. So if we look at that in a kind of more modern sense, we've got it hardwired into our nervous system, the limbic system, the brain. In a more kind of traditional wisdom from a Chinese philosophy, our hearts are open. So what I'd like you to do today is to take you through basically a whole bunch of drills, to help us learn how to play a bit. Things that will help us coordinate our brain and body, things that help our conditioning. Because I'm sure from what I've seen of everybody here, we've had people go through yoga, a whole bunch of other things. My class is going to be a little bit different. We're going to look at the body and the mind. Okay, so bear with me. Okay, so this is the first time I've actually really done this. So what I'm going to look at just now is I'm going to ask you to follow me. Now, just one thing that's really important. Okay, you don't have to do anything you don't want to. Always work within safety, within your comfort zone and range of movement. This is going to be something that's new. So just try and relax, smile, have some fun. Okay? So what I'm going to look at, as many of us are going to be teachers. This is just a way to kind of share with you ways to get people into that kind of playful state, that kind of constant motion. The first thing I'm going to do, okay, is I'm going to ask you to just look at our coordination. If you can take your left hand, I'm going to be raising up here, so this will be my left hand or your right hand. Okay. And all I want you to do just now is we're going to just look at the principle of being in body. So I want you to rub your belly, okay? Really rubbing your belly. Fairly easy, isn't it? See, no problems to sex, okay? Good. Have you all got that? I'm going to take that as a virtual yes. And the next one we're going to do is we're just going to start tapping on our head. Yeah? Okay. That's fairly straightforward, isn't it? We can do those things in isolation. Now, one of the things when you start looking at rehabilitation, I'm also studying sports therapy, so I'm drawing on my experience from this just now. When you look at rehabilitation, there's something called proprioception. It's how our body kind of processes information coming through the neuromuscular system, this nervous system in the skin, muscles, tissue. And when we look at the left and right brain, we've got one side that can feed the other, and vice versa. What we're trying to do is we're going to get a balance between them. Again, going on the Chinese wisdom, yin, yang, harmony. Okay? So what we need to do just now, okay, is we need to kind of put both of these together. Yeah? Just give this a try. Yeah? Okay, good. I just want you to just really be present and aware. Okay? Now, just as a question, okay? Just try and think about what you're going to do next week while you're doing this and keeping the rhythm moving. I'm already kind of proving that you can do two things at once because I'm talking to the camera. Okay? Just have us think about what you're going to do next week and try and tell the camera if you can. Yeah? Honestly, I haven't practiced this much, but I did practice it many, many years ago. Okay. So how did you get on with that? Yeah? Did you find it difficult? Were you trying to think about yourself in the future? But you kept being drawn back into the present because of what you were physically feeling, the stimulation that you're getting from the kind of both hands rubbing, the part where you're engaging both parts of the brain. Yeah. Okay. Some people do. Some people have excellent coordination and they can do. Other people have a difficulty kind of doing this one. I'm doing it with my left hand and my right hand because if I try and do it like this, I get it reversed. So I can only do it one side. The whole principle I'm trying to share with you is this idea that if we are fully embodied, we're drawing on all the information that we have through our senses, sight, touch, taste, smell, hearing, and we're really fully embodied in what we're doing. And that's when we start looking at when we kind of start looking at the idea of play. How many of us are yoga teachers? How many of us are kind of Tai Chi, Kung Fu, meditation? When people are normally coming to our classes, they've normally had a very busy day, and we often get the feedback, oh, that class was great because it took me out, took me back in the present moment. If you can add the dimension of play to this and physical embodiment, you can get people to circumvent all that conditioning by coming back into the body, back to that baseline of play. Now, as adults, we can be very kind of tense about play. Oh no, I can't play. No, I can't do that. Especially here in Scotland. I can't speak about other people around the world. I'm going to speak about people in Scotland. And I think we can all agree that being embodied would really be useful. Yeah? So here are a couple of drills that's going to really help us start to coordinate, develop that proprioception. And it doesn't have to be something complex like Tai Chi, where you do lots of moves to hear, playing here, being coordinated. You can start with something as simple as a clap. Simple as that, okay? So what we're going to start off with, okay, we're going to start kind of, let me just turn the front here. We're going to start clapping. Everybody's doing this, okay? No round of applause. Yeah? Fairly easy, isn't it? Okay? So what we're going to start looking at now is how we put all that together. How do we make that a little bit more challenging? Because what we don't want to do is to let people kind of go from something simple to so complex that they get overwhelmed. We want to help them develop and evolve those skills of embodiment, so they can start to understand emotion, the energy in the body, what thoughts and everyday stress is having an effect. We really want to develop that awareness. Okay? So we're going to look at this, how we start to build this up slowly. Okay. So we're going to add this in now. Okay. So what we're doing with this part is when we add in, we're actually balancing at both sides of the brain. Okay. What we're going to do now, okay, is we're going to add in another permutation. We've got this here. Okay. So now what we're doing, we're going to go through the cycle. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, back to here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So what we've got here is we've got tap in the front, tap around the back, come back to the front. That's the prefix. That's one that's always going to be constant. Under the leg, back to the front. Okay. So let's just give that a try. Okay. Now, one thing I'm going to really ask you, really important, is just have a smile. Really, really have a smile. Those of you who know me, I have no problem kind of making fun of myself. The first thing I learned to do is really laugh at myself, because that's the start of compassion. Really understand that you can just have that gentle humor for yourself, then that's when you can. That's all. That's just a little. So here we go. Okay, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so how can we make this harder? Yeah, those of you who've got it, you're correct. We're going to use the other leg. Okay, so now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back to 1. So it's a 6 count. Okay, so you start making this. You can start kind of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here we go again. 1. Actually, you know what? I almost made a mistake there. You might have seen that. I'm not going to say it was intentional, because maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, there you go. Did you get that part? Here we go again. Okay, because this is the fun part about it. Okay, it's about playing. You screw. If you get it wrong, no one has died. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Are you getting that okay? Yeah? Good. How many, I'd like to ask, how many of you are smiling at this point? How many of you got a bit of a kind of like a warm, kind of like a slight stretch on? Because it is actually quite hard work. Now, permutations, if you can't actually kind of get this one to here, just kind of come down under your legs. Yeah? You can get your legs up. Get your legs up. So here we go again, okay? Now, what we're going to do is you're going to start to encourage and find your own rhythm. This is your own self-play. You don't have to follow me. You can find your groove and just stay there, yeah? So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, we're going to get a little bit faster now, okay? Just to kind of engage. Now, here's something about this idea about play. Now, there's an idea of this concept called infinite play, always keeping the game going. Now, when you start to do, if we had time, I'd have taken you through some partner work, but we don't have partners here. So I just want you to get this idea about infinite play. You've got, basically, it's an infinity sign. Always kind of come backwards and forwards, okay? So if you find your groove, great. You want to kind of follow my speed as we get faster and faster to challenge the mind more, the brain, great. Or if you find that part that you want to kind of keep it going, that's right on your edge, and you kind of make a mistake, you pick yourself back and keep going. Lots of ways to really cook this. Yeah. So just try for me again. Okay, so we're going to get this a little bit faster now. Okay, start off slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Okay. It gets you quite physical, doesn't it? So this is just the idea. So if you look at what we've actually done, we started off breaking this down, bite-sized chunks, learning how the components of the game. Yeah. So the next part is when we start kind of putting it together. We've got one component, we put another component, and then we kind of put it into the other component. Then we start putting it all together, very kind of like rhythmical, staccato. Yeah. And then from there, we started kind of looking at the rhythm, making it a little bit faster, making it a little bit more kind of complex. So we don't have time to think. We only have time to be. You start to understand how this idea of flowing Zen now, that we can access through the art of play. Because we're completely caught in the moment. My part of this kind of comes from when I'm studying martial arts and full contact fighting. Because if somebody's really trying to punch you in the head, or if you're doing weapon work, you have to be present. This is why we're going to talk about more advanced martial arts. We're not talking about kind of supreme fighting ability. We're talking about cultivation, human potential, and a human being. And this is just one way that we can start to access that. We don't have to put ourselves into years of training and fighting. Okay? So we can do this through movement, understanding, if we know how to kind of stretch our limits, expand our mind, and open the heart. So we're going to look at another variation now, okay, on this clapping drill. Okay? And I know that maybe some of you have been very kind of being relaxed and all zened out. This is going to get a bit more active. We're really looking at the body part here now, the mind and body connection. So the next part we're going to look at is we're going to add the alternative. We're going to add feet and hands. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2. If you can do this, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's an adaptation if you can get your legs up. Okay. And again, just do your best, because you know what? Playing is not competing. Playing is about developing skill. Yeah. So here we go. We're going to add this. This is the first component. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just going to add in a little bit of another permutation that we can add in. So you've noticed this get a bit faster, yeah? So the other way to kind of develop this is to go a little bit slower. That helps us develop coordination, helps us really be in the moment. We find the areas of tension in our body because we're slowing things down. We can have that awareness now, yeah? And again, how does this tie into the mind? Because what you learn in the body affects the mind. What we learn in the mind affects the body. Ultimately, one and the same. Okay? So let's really slow this permutation down. Okay? We're going to go 1. Shift the weight over. Coming up as best as you can. 2. You add a wee bit for wobble. That's fine. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. How was that? Okay. Good. I'm glad that some people are having fun. If it's just me on here, then I'm having a lot of fun just for playing with myself. It's a skill I developed early on. You know? So from here, we're going to add in another permutation. We've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, do you know what? For those of you who are observing, you'll see that I got that wrong. So again, it's that coordination of mind and body. I'm trying to coordinate this teaching, to something I'm not really used to doing, such as teaching on camera. We're going to add this in again, okay? So bear with me, okay? So the permutation is we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So let's go off that together, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start off slowly. And we're going to come in here, it's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we could make this faster, but why don't we play a game? Okay. And here's the crux of this. Person who finishes 3 cycles first is the loser. Okay. Person who does this in the longest time wins. Now, obviously, we can't see you, so I'm going to judge it up to your part. Okay, so we'll go through 3 cycles of this. Okay. So here we go. 1. I did that wrong, didn't I? Let's start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. Slow as we can. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those of you who are still going, you're awesome. Absolutely brilliant, okay? So you're going to have to bear with me, okay, because I need to just check the time. I have spaced this out, but as I'm kind of going through this, I'm realizing that actually, you know what? I'm losing that sense of time because I'm playing. So just bear with me, okay? So if my wife can tell me roughly when it's about 22, she'll kind of come in and let me know she's on this call as well. So we've spoken about play, and we've taken this really, really simple movement. We've broken it down, okay? So let's break this down and really understand it. Because when we start looking at this idea of play, there's actually a roadmap to it. Take something that's fun. My wife is just about to come in. She's there. Is that half past? 24:02. She's going to put her phone down there and let me know see the time. So bear with me, okay? Like I say, I have a lot of humor because that's just who I am. When we start looking at this as a thing about play, yeah, we need to understand that we need to learn, maybe reconnect to something. Yeah? Let me just ask you, how are you feeling right now after doing that drill? Yeah, really cool, isn't it? When you start really start to understand that being movement and really taking something deep into the body, so it kind of grows from the outside, sorry, from the inside to the outside. What we're doing is we're reconnecting to that wonderful foundation that we have for children, where we did learn to play. We just used our imaginations. We were completely caught up in the moment. We didn't think about what was happening next, what had happened before. We were completely absorbed in the game. That's what we've just done. We've just taken a simple, really simple movement like clap on our feet. We've just done this. We've played. And I hope you're certainly feeling as good as I am. So with that in mind, okay, how could you take this and apply it to your own practice, your own understanding, your own chosen vehicle of exploration and cultivation? So I want to give you a principle, an idea. Now, it's really understanding is like, you can find a lot of these games out there, okay? So now we're going to actually take this into a more of an embodied movement. Now, I have adapted this, okay, for this. So bear with me. You are the first people I'm trying this on, so I'm sure it'll go well. Okay. So all you need to do, okay, is you just need to keep your feet roughly about shoulder apart. I'm going to come a little bit closer so you can see me, okay? Keep your feet roughly about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit longer. And all you need to do is you need to try and keep your feet roughly in that zone. And all you're going to do, okay, is you're going to follow my finger, okay? All you need to do is just follow my finger. We're going to do this the first one, okay? So if I move across this way, you're going to move your body across. Come over to here. You're going to move your body across. They come here. They come up the way. You're going to come as tall as you can, not up onto tiptoes, just as tall as you can through the spine. And then if I come forward like this, you're going to come back. Okay? You come back as much as you can. And all you need to do is just follow the movement as best as you can. Okay? So here we go. It's just a game of playing. Now, let me just reiterate. If you find yourself kind of getting caught like this, okay, and it's uncomfortable, it's causing tension, come out of it, okay, because we're looking at this idea of infinite play. Something that kind of like, if you get caught up in something that's really hard or emotionally tense, you stop playing. And you lose that state of flowing zen, okay? So, are you ready? Feet parallel on the ground, as comfortable as you can. Now, if you want to, you can actually sit down and you could use the seat as the base, just as a way of adapting this. Okay, so we're just going to play. Okay, so again, if you need to sit down on the seat and do this just from your base on the seat. Okay, so here we go. Ready? We're going to come all the way down. And you come down to crouch as much as you can. You come up here. And we're going to move across in a big circle, round, keep following, down, back the other way, up to here. I'm going to come forward now, leaning back or moving your body back to here, moving forward, down, and then back up. We're going to come to the side, leaning forward, and back. Okay. So that's just a really simple game. Let's make this a little bit more easier in some ways, because we've got our feet in the horizontal plane here, so it can make it really difficult to lean back. So what I want you to do, okay, is I want you to bring your feet up to here. To take a step back, feet out to here, so it's almost like your feet are in an L shape, okay? Now, if you need to move your feet like windscreen wipers, okay, it really kind of moves to allow your hips and that to move. Do that. The rules are more guidelines. I said to keep your feet still. Yeah, if it's going to feed you into kind of keeping you kind of tense or kind of getting tension in the body, move your feet, okay? Infinite play. So when I kind of come forward with the hand, If I'm coming back with the hand from here like this and I'm coming back, you need to kind of come forward like this. If I'm coming forward like this, you need to move the body back. Okay. And now if you start looking at this stuff to here, like this is the basis of Tai Chi. Yeah, to here. And we're learning those movements through playing. Now, when I teach Tai Chi, an awful lot of people say to me, you know, I can't do this in hands. You get them playing this game, it becomes so much easier for them because they've taken out that everyday cognitive part, that little monkey mind that's kind of going, I can't, okay? There's no such words as I can't, I'm trying, I'm doing, and I'll get there. And it's not, you don't make the final destination. I had a heck of a journey kind of getting there and I had a lot of fun. Okay, please remember that. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we're going to come from here. Remember, you've got your feet in that L shape. So all you do, okay, you turn your foot out, take a step back, maybe just a bit so you've got a nice kind of easier base. Knees are loose and bouncy. Okay, don't worry about your bum. It can be sticking out, can be sticking forward. Don't worry too much about it. Okay, just follow the fingers best you can. We're going to come up from here now. Coming from here, round it. So you guys should be kind of leaning back as best as you can, coming through, back into here, and up. Let's do that kind of a few more times, okay? And round. Then up. And round. Okay? Going round and through to here. Now let's add this part kind of come to here. Backwards and forward. Moving side to side. Okay? Good. Now, here's the good part, okay? We're going to come diagonal. All the way down. Yeah? Now, if you find that your knees getting sore here because you lean forward too much, don't go so far. Okay? Here. 1, 2, up. Let's stay here for a little bit. Okay? Let's really find that part where we're kind of really off balance, maybe a little bit uncomfortable, but not going to distress. Always work in your comfort zone. Maybe on the edge of it, to create a bit of growth, but never ever way past. Okay, so here we go. Find that part here, coming up and then through. So again, simple movement drill. What you've literally learned is grasping sparrow's tail. Yeah. You can take this and you can make it playful. I'm going to invite you to be curious about your own practice. How could you take the concept that I'm working with just now and bring it into your own practice? Okay. So let's add another permutation to this. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to come back to this stance now, to here, and this time you are going to have both your fingers up. Okay. You see how we've got this here? Okay, will be the mirror image. So this hand here, which is my right hand, will be your left hand, and my left hand here will be your right hand. Okay. And what we're going to do, okay, is we are going to try and play a game. You're just going to have to follow my leader. So if I'm coming up to here with this hand, you mirror it. Okay, here and down, up and then down. Okay, and then kind of getting to here, and then up and then down. I'm really trying to lift your whole body now from the feet up as you kind of come down and then back up to here, trying to reach both sides down and then up to here and then down here, making circles. That makes it a little bit harder for you now, okay? And coming round to here and through, circling, back in to here, really kind of coming up now with both hands. I'll make it come back to something a little bit easier now. Circling round Then up. Can't see my fingers, but you kind of get the idea, okay? Here. And down. Again, it's play with the idea of making something slower. Then up. Round. You start looking at these movements. They're very similar to some of the yoga and the Qigong poses that we work with. But we're learning this idea of simple ideas in movement. Okay, so circling around to here, and then up, and then down, pause, and just feel how good it feels to move the body. Really, really understand. Okay. And then here. So let's try something now. Okay. We can draw a circle. Yeah. So let's keep one going. Yeah. And add the other one in. Stop. And now. Okay. How are you finding this now? Okay. Let's get one kind of going. Okay. Round. And coming round. Okay. Here. Now the other one. You look at this from a Tai Chi point of view. What you're learning is you're learning this kind of moving clouds. Hands like this. Simple way. Moving whole body, okay? Because when we play and we're much more in that expansive state, the idea of flowing Zen, flowing meditation, the best state of awareness or conscious that we can be in that moment. You know, we have the mind, we allow the mind to expand and it can hold more things. I'm just focusing on my fingers like this. I'm going to lock up my shoulders. As I lock up my shoulders, my breathing is going to get tighter. I'm going to be able to breathe as much now. Suddenly I'm affecting my chi's rising, or in more modern terms, I'm starting to affect my nervous system because my breathing is now preferred, going more into fight or flight, which naturally starts to close down our tunnel vision. Yeah? Useful for when we're running away from, say, big tigers, but not useful for everyday living. So this is just the idea about play. And again, it's also this idea of you really coming back and taking ownership of this. Because you played as a kid. Some of you may even be playing in your life right now, which is absolutely great. Absolutely wonderful. I would really encourage you to keep on doing that. So really look at the ideas. Breaking something down. How do we make something playful? We've got to, first of all, we've got to understand that we can come back to this. Second part is breaking something down into components that we can start to play. It can be physical, it can be mind, it can be body. So if we start to include as much sensory feedback from all our body systems, it brings us much more into that present moment and it keeps us there. It doesn't stop taking away. Remember this, coming back to this, when we had that idea about, you know, what can I think do next week? This is keeping you constantly in the moment. That's reinforcing that. And you know what? As we all know, what we place our attention on, that's what naturally starts to grow and is given energy. Resources start to develop the neural patterns in the brain that become more and more being in the present moment, rather than thinking about in the future or in the past. There's a whole bunch of psychology around that. Really, really interesting, but that's for another time. We had this idea about infinite play, always keeping the game going. So really, really, just look at something that really invites you to be playful. Just have something that's done. Doesn't matter what it is, whatever is unique to you, something that you love doing. Okay? I'll keep the game going. Try and make that, try and bring this into your everyday life. Okay? So that's the kind of physical side of this. what I'm going to invite you to do, okay, is to kind of make yourself comfortable. Okay, this is the mind part. And what we need to do is we still need to have this part upright. We're just going to do a very quick, brief meditation before we kind of finish up. Okay, and this is just remembering. Okay, is what we've done a lot of things with the mind, the body. You know, the bottom up effect. Now we're going to start looking at the top down effect. And again, we need to understand, you know, this is a simple analogy for ease of understanding. The mind and body is probably in more like 3 dimensions, or probably 4 or 5, depending on how you perceive it and how you look. So we're going to kind of come to this part where we can do a brief meditation. When we develop the skill of meditation, placing our mind on the awareness, we can easily bring ourselves back into these states. But it becomes a practice. They eventually develops into a skill. They eventually develops into solid outcomes that you desire. So I kind of just invite you to make yourself comfortable, sitting on the chair, half lotus position, whatever is comfortable for you, okay? I'm just going to ask you to kind of just place your hands however you want, coming to here, and just allow yourself to just gently be aware of the breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing anchors us into that moment. Breathing, the line is the line in the yin and yang, internal and external. The point of balance that we make. Just when you're starting to breathe, just let your breathing be natural. Breathing in, relaxation, and breathing out any unnecessary tension. And if you want to, you can keep your eyes open, keep your eyes closed. Just follow as comfortably as you can. Just breathing in and breathing. And the whole thing about compassion, gentleness, that those are the states that allow us access to more subtle realms, or more intimate, you know, more subtle realms, more fine realms of the mind. Just allowing yourself to just kind of be present, just being there. And just allowing your mind to rest on the advice I'm giving you to follow, just suggest. When the mind is and body are calm, often stillness. Stillness where we can start to choose to invite things in. When I talk about inviting things in, I'm talking about memory. You have to have that very gentle intention. Now we need to understand that gentle doesn't mean soft or weak. You're being gentle to the fullest of your potential, mind, energy, and body. It comes from the deepest part of radiation. We just had a wonderful experience playing. And now, just very gently, very, very gently, just invite memory of when you did, when you were young. Just really kind of seeing it. You can see this in many different ways. You can see it from the third person. Some may see it through the eyes of when you were age. Just very gently invite. Don't try and find one, because our mind knows what to do. We just need to, the gentle intention of the mind, oh my, just allow it. Just invite that memory in of when you're. I wonder what it looks like. Just taking a moment to really, really experience that. Now I wonder what the sounds are going around. Really, really hearing this laughter, the game you're playing. Just take a moment to really finish that. Now I wonder what the sensation on your skin, in your body. How are you breathing? An easy game, very kind of robust, exciting, energetic game. Just wonder what it is. Fully, fully experience the sights, all the colors and the quality of the light, the sounds, the laughing maybe, music playing. What you're feeling on the body is this, you're feeling the sun all day, that's invigorating. Feel the breath, breathing in, excitement. Now I wonder what you are feeling emotion. There's a sense of joy, freedom. Just taking a moment to fully experience this time when you fully present in the moment, not thinking about the future or the past. I wonder what the feeling is. And now, just taking a moment to experience that feeling. Just allow yourself to fully be present. Okay. Now I'm just going to ask you to just let the memory just drift away. Just drift away as you fully, like fog in the sunlight, mist disappearing, diffusing, just in the light, just really fully immersed. And just taking a moment to be in that flowing Zen state in your memories and mind. Sense of being, just living completely in the moment. Pause before. So now I'm going to ask you to just come back here, move the hands, stretch, allow yourself to kind of come back, or do this everyday reality present. But the good thing is that you can carry this emotion, this feeling, this sense of being with. So that was my understanding, just kind of come back in and land, checking with yourself, move the feet around yourself, really feeling this, okay? So I believe I'm meant to finish up about 10 to 2. So I'm going to kind of wrap things up here now. I hope you've had as much fun as I've had sharing this with you. I really, really like to play. Hope you've enjoyed it. And if you've got any questions and stuff like that, I'm just going to go and get my iPad, and I will hopefully Tim will just unmute all of you now, and you can ask them any questions or any comments you'd like to share.
We've got some time, Mark. We've got till 2 o'clock.
Okay, cool. So let me just see now. How do I join audio? Bear with me. Okay. How's everybody found it?
It was good fun, Mark, as well. Nice to play in that way.
Yeah. Is there anybody there?
Yeah, we've got some people here. Definitely people. You weren't just talking to me and B.
Nobody's taking other things on there, okay?
That's okay. Sometimes I don't, and also some people have been doing a lot of lessons today already, so they may be zonked out or spaced out.
That's perfectly fine. That's okay.
But it's nice. It's nice to play with the body and the mind as well. It was good fun.
Okay. So look,
I like Mark. I liked the arms moving about. That was great when they were flowing.
Who's that?
Jacqueline.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Trying to make it this feedback.
It felt nice.
Yeah, and this is the idea about when you start looking at this, you can take something really simple like Qigong and you can put it into much more flowing way, so people can really start to find range of movement they can work with in their comfort zone. So I hope this is something that you take away. Okay.
And I did most of it down and it was fine.
Yeah. Okay, folks, if there's no more questions and things like that, have a wonderful time and I will see you later. Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.